continental United States. And now to your host, world-renowned wrestling commentator, Gordon Soley.
Hey, thank you so very, very much, and welcome once again to Continental Championship Wrestling. And what a program we have in store for you today. First of all, three championship matches. The Continental title going on the line, the U.S. Junior Heavyweight Championship on the line, and the Southeastern Tag Team Championship on the line. Next week, here at Boutwell Auditorium and here on Continental Championship Wrestling, we will be bringing you the highlights of the Alabama State Heavyweight Championship. We have a brand new belt that I'll be showing you a little bit later on in the program. And I might point out once again that Jerry Stubbs, who in a very, very disrespectful way threw away the old Alabama Heavyweight Championship belt, has been disqualified from that title match. He will not be allowed in the tournament.
Excuse me, Mr. Soley. You're usually infallible, truthful to every point, but you did make a mistake. You said Mr. Stubbs is no longer in the Alabama State Tournament.
That's
Please
right.
take a look at this. Read it and weep. Read it and weep. Read it and weep.
Well, just a second. I am reading it. Know ye by all present, this hereby certifies that Mr. Jerry Stubbs
Will, go ahead and say, will be in the Alabama tournament.
well,
Let me tell you something
it does
else.
in fact say, and it is signed by a circuit court judge, and it does in fact say that Mr. Stubbs is allowed in the tournament.
Excuse me for interrupting you, but I got something important I got to say. You know, this man, Kevin Sullivan, went to higher authority to get this done, higher than the stud. So he's like stepped in the shoes of the stud. He went higher to get this taken care of.
Well, you have a Continental title to defend, but I must admit that according to this document signed by the circuit court judge, Mr. Stubbs indeed will be.
You know, I also got me a title match right here on TV.
Yes, you do.
And I'll take care of Brad Armstrong.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll tell you what then. We do have a Continental Championship match upcoming right now here on Continental Championship Wrestling. So let's go to the ring and Freddie Miller. Freddie?
Thank you, Gordon. Gordon, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for the Continental Heavyweight Championship. One fall with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing now in the ring, here is the challenger, Brad Armstrong. Brad Armstrong. And now entering the ring, Mr. Perfect, the Continental Heavyweight Wrestling Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Stubbs. Jerry Stubbs. One fall with a 30-minute time limit. This is for the belt.
All right. One fall, 30-minute time limit. Jerry Stubbs moving out against Brad Armstrong. Continental title on the line. Referee is Roy George. Armstrong in the green trunks. Stubbs in the black trunks. Neither man able to gain any advantage on that particular series of moves. Side headlock now by Stubbs. Brad Armstrong, and brother, you talk about somebody being in condition. He is in condition. Beautiful move, but Stubbs breaks it up. I was gone, as I'm sure all of you know, last week. I had an opportunity to review the program during the week and a couple of interesting things that I'll be talking more about a little bit later on. Off the ropes and a good shoulder smash by Stubbs. Brad Armstrong drops to the canvas. High leapfrog, drops to the canvas again. Another high leapfrog. And Armstrong now catches him with a beautiful flying drop kick. High flying hip toss. Stubbs managed to get that shoulder off before the count of three. Stubbs getting some extra leverage there. good thinking on the part of our director, Steve Johnson. He kept the camera right on Mr. Stubbs, and so we saw where once again Mr. Stubbs tried to get some extra advantage. Want to say a special hi to all of the folks out there at the Gardendale Nursing Home. Hope you all are enjoying the matches here on Continental Championship Wrestling. Gardendale Nursing Home. Side headlock by Brad Armstrong. Keeps the pressure on him. Off the ropes. Got him with a good shoulder smash. Brad Armstrong catches him with another shoulder smash. Brad Armstrong, and that time Stubbs was set and ready. Armstrong went to the well once too often, but he breaks it up, and then again another high-flying hip toss. Stubbs rolls that shoulder off before the count of 3. Referee Roy George down there checking those shoulders and checking to make sure that both men are totally cognizant of where they are and what they're doing. Many times during a match like this, with this kind of importance, the man, up on the ring ropes. And it was Stubbs turning it to his own advantage that time. Turned what could have been a disadvantage into a belly-to-back suplex. Brad Armstrong staggered by that one. And that was the point that I was just about to make, is that many times a man will get stunned, not know where he is or what he's doing, and the referee has to watch that very, very carefully. Armstrong jammed into that turnbuckle. Stubbs off the ropes, catches him, double sledgehammer across the top of the head. Brad Armstrong could be in a lot of trouble here. Stubbs seems to have things very much under his own control. High vertical suplex by Jerry Stubbs on Brad Armstrong. Foot on the rope. That forces the break. Stubbs disappointed.
5 minutes going by in the match. 5.
Stubbs uncorks a hard right hand that staggers Armstrong. Armstrong fires back. One to the midsection of Jerry Stubbs. Another one to the side of the head. Another one to the midsection of Stubbs. And Armstrong now following through. Irish whip into the far corner. Stubbs drives the knee into the side of the head of Brad Armstrong. Stubbs seems to have it going his way. Armstrong brought up, caught with an atomic knee drop. And Armstrong in trouble now as those 26 vertebrae were jammed. Actually have 33 vertebrae, but 7 of them are relatively fused. Stubbs drives a knee into the prefrontal lobe of Brad Armstrong. Now a lateral press. Brad Armstrong gets that foot outside the rope. That forces the break once again. Armstrong fires to the midsection. Armstrong, Irish whip, fires him off, catches him with a good shoulder smash. Armstrong up and over his man. Armstrong a leapfrog. Armstrong cross body, but it's Stubbs catching him mid-flight. And it's a referee. And you've got all 3 men down. Armstrong coming back to his feet, and so is Stubbs. Referee Roy George in trouble. Wait a minute. Stubbs going after something. Stubbs had some kind of powder, salt or something. Wait a minute. Wendell Cooley has just hit the side of the ring. Stubbs missed him. He had something in his hand. We've got a 3 count. We've got a 3 count. We have a brand new Continental Heavyweight Champion. We do indeed have a brand new champion. Brad Armstrong. And now for the official word, let's turn to our ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's your winner, the new Continental Heavyweight Wrestling Champion. In the time of 8 minutes, Brad Armstrong, the winner. Brad Armstrong.
Along with Scott Armstrong, but all is not lost. Scott Armstrong has been sidelined with some very, very serious injuries. However, Scott Armstrong is not out of professional wrestling. He is still very much a part of the scene, and a very interesting part of the scene, I might add. He has had surgery. He's on the recovery trail, but for the moment, he is sidelined. I had an opportunity to talk to Scott Armstrong earlier. He had these comments.
Well, Scott, according to the latest doctor's report we've read, your professional wrestling career at least is over for the moment.
Yes, sir, that's exactly right. I underwent laser surgery. It's been about 3 weeks ago now, and it laid me up for a little while, and the doctors still have yet to give me the okay to go back to professional wrestling. But, I've learned in this business you have to take the good with the bad, and all of a sudden when I thought everything was coming to an end as far as wrestling, another option came up. I had an associate business degree that I was able to fall back on, and I've taken over the job as assistant events coordinator, and it's been very productive so far. I've met a lot of very nice people, and it's just been great. I've really enjoyed it.
Well, let me explain to all of you who might be watching right now, who may have a civic club or a fraternal organization or a sorority organization or what have you. In other words, what you're doing basically is you're arranging for matches to be held in various communities with a portion of the proceeds to go to some civic organization.
That's exactly right. We've been working with the people in Tuscaloosa. We've been going into, as a matter of fact, we're coming up. We've got Woodland, Spring Garden, Moulton. We've got a lot of good organizations that are sponsoring wrestling, and all you have to do is give me a call, and I'll be glad to do my best to bring it to your place, your area.
In other words, what you're basically saying, of course, is that you're holding up to the NWA tradition that no town is too large or too small to have professional wrestling.
That's exactly right, and naturally the National Wrestling Alliance is the best in professional wrestling.
All right, and we invite you to call the number that's on the screen right now to contact Scott Armstrong for future wrestling matches in your area.
September 23rd, 8 o'clock, double World Championship night. Nature Boy Ric Flair, champion, against the winner of the Alabama tournament. The Tornado team with no DQ, Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden, against the Bullet and Adrian Street. Continental title, Brad Armstrong clashes with Mystic Kevin Sullivan. Ladies World Championship, Debbie Combs, champion, against Miss Linda. The U.S. Junior title, Horner against Welch, plus 2 other matches, Columbus.
Hey, let's talk about wrestling in Columbus, Mississippi. Tuesday night, September 23rd. Mark it on your calendar, Lavender Coliseum. Double World Championship night, championship prices. The winner of the Alabama tournament going up against the world champion, Ric Flair. And in a Tornado tag team match, no disqualification, the Bullet, the Exotic Adrian Street against Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden. Brad Armstrong takes on the Mystic Kevin Sullivan, Continental title.
You know, Kevin Sullivan came into the Continental Championship area, and he was pretty much unknown. Now, he's been wrestling for a number of years. I remember seeing him wrestling as I was growing up. So I'm not trying to say the man's old or anything. But anyway, Kevin Sullivan, I've seen what you do in the ring now. You see the Mystic. He looks into the crystal ball and says he can read the future. We'll see if he can see this one coming at him.
Fair enough. I'll tell you what. Wendell, I know, of course, you're in that Alabama tournament, and I know you hope to win it.
Well, that's right, Gordon. You know, you're talking about Hulkamania running wild. Well, have you heard about Wildcat fever lately? You know, well, down around Columbus, Mississippi, there's been temperatures in excess of 200 degrees down there. You know what I'm talking about? And it's really going to light up that night because somebody that wins this Alabama tournament is going to be facing the Nature Boy Ric Flair. And I want to wish Brad Armstrong a lot of luck against that Mystic Kevin Sullivan, you know, because he got them crystal balls he looks down in and tries to project the future. But like Brad says, I wonder if he can see that coming at him.
That's an interesting point indeed. Let's see what happens to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this event on Continental Championship Wrestling is for the U.S. Junior Heavyweight Championship. Now in the ring, here is the champion. He's known as White Lightning. He's in at 224 pounds. Here's Tim Horner. Tim Horner. And we are awaiting the arrival of his opponent, the king of wrestling, Roy Lee Welch. Gentlemen, this one fall with a 30-minute time limit. This is for the belt. The challenger, the king of wrestling, Roy Lee Welch, and the champion, Tim Horner. Your referee is Roy George.
All right. Roy Lee Welch going up against Tim Horner. U.S. Junior Heavyweight Championship on the line, 230 pounds or less. And you can go over that weight limit if the champion agrees to it. And it is Roy Lee Welch attacking before the bell after Tim Horner. Horner off the ropes, caught in a high backdrop. Roy Lee Welch, a series of hard right hands. Roy Lee Welch, a full body slam. Roy Lee Welch moving very, very swiftly against Horner. Catches him with a hard right hand. Irish whip off the rope. Horner somersaults away. Catches him with a hard right hand. Horner now explodes. Tim Horner, beautiful drop kick coming off the ropes. His foot on the rope, that causes the break. Full body slam. Our second title match here on Continental Championship Wrestling. Remember, we do have a new Continental Heavyweight Champion in Brad Armstrong. He defeated Jerry Stubbs in our opening match. Now we have Roy Lee Welch going after Tim Horner for the U.S. Junior Heavyweight Championship, and Horner now seems to have things well under control. Horner charged, and it was Roy Lee Welch ducking to one side. Horner could be in trouble at this point. White Lightning caught with a hard right hand to the side of the jaw. Horner down, and he's got problems with that shoulder. Hammerlock now by Roy Lee Welch. Welch, a second-generation competitor. Well, actually, third generation. His dad before him and his grandfather before him, all great competitors in the sport of professional wrestling. Horner fires the midsection. Roy Lee Welch catches him a couple of hard right hands. Horner ducking away now as Welch closes in. Horner fires again to the midsection. Horner backing away, fires again, catches him on the side of the jaw. Horner making those blows count now. High knee lift by Roy Lee. And the chant being picked up by the thousands jamming Boutwell Auditorium. They are decidedly on the side of Tim Horner. Roy Lee Welch dominating the situation at the moment. Irish whip into the ropes. And it's Horner caught once again by Roy Lee Welch. And so Roy Lee, Horner fires to the midsection. Good ankle sweep. by Tim Horner. Back to the basics. Roy Lee Welch right after him again, however. Hard right hand to the midsection. Roy Lee Welch with a look of anticipation on his face now. Seems to have Horner in a lot of trouble. Horner making it to the ring ropes. That forces the break. Welch giving him no surcease whatsoever.
5 minutes expire.
Welch outside the ring ropes now, punishing that arm of Tim Horner. And Horner, the champion, in trouble. He's in the blue trunks. Welch moves in again. He's on the red trunks. Horner coming up slowly. Roy Lee comes down. Double sledgehammer to the back of the head. Half Nelson and a single leg hook. Irish whip. Beautiful rolling reverse by Horner. But Welch breaks it up. Horner tried for a pinning combination. He gambled and lost on that one. Gut wrench salto by Welch. Quick float over on the body. Horner powers away from it. Once again, back into the corner. Horner in trouble now. You can see the agony etched across his face. Another chop into the throat. Horner fires back, and Welch retreats. Horner missing with the right hand. That left arm is bothering him. Welch catches him. Welch closes in again. Horner in trouble now. That left arm is still all but useless. He brings him up. Another full body slam on Tim Horner. Roy Lee Welch comes down with the elbow, but it is Horner drifting to one side. Misses the brunt of that blow. Horner now with a couple of hard right hands. Another one that staggers Welch. Another one that drops Welch to the canvas. And so the champion looking well now. Good move by Horner. He's got him. No serve. Roy Lee Welch backs it up. He got the 3 count. Couldn't tell. Difficult to tell whether or not he had an advantage there or not. Couldn't tell whether he had the trunks or not. The camera angle was such that we could not tell. The referee obviously didn't see it if in fact it happened. And so Roy Lee Welch has just captured the U.S. Junior Heavyweight Championship. Here's the official word from our ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the time of 9 minutes and 10 seconds, the winner and new U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion, Roy Lee Welch, the king of wrestling, Roy Lee Welch.
All right, we've heard the word now, and so Roy Lee Welch is indeed the new U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion. Here is the Alabama Heavyweight Championship belt. That tournament will be held next week here on Continental Championship Wrestling. We'll bring you as many highlights as we can on that tournament. The man who is with me right now was responsible, in part or entirely, for Jerry Stubbs being allowed to be in that tournament. And it was only recently, in reviewing last week's videotape of the program, that I saw a most interesting interview. And it involved this gentleman to my right, who is known as the Prince of Darkness. And as you will see, the interview itself is both dark in texture and dark in message. Let's give a listen to it. Well, I must question a couple of things. First of all, I must say I admire your tenacity and your capabilities in getting this document from the circuit court regarding Jerry Stubbs being able to compete in the Alabama Championship. But I'm also curious about one thing, and I know your background, Mr. Sullivan. To be a king, you must kill a king. What do you mean?
Well, Gordon Soley, as you say, in your infinite wisdom, you know my background. You see, when I left the United States and traveled to Asia. I went to Calcutta, and I saw beggars on the street chewing at one another for a penny. Then I went to Singapore and walked down Boogie Street, the street of 1,000 thieves. And in Singapore, if they catch you stealing, they chop your arm off. Then I traveled to Japan and went to Mount Fuji. You see, there is a tribe of Japanese in Mount Fuji that are still warlike savages. In this country, they talk about competition. They talk about winning and losing. But in the other end of the world, there is only one thing about winning, and that is survival. And when I mean survival, Mr. Soley, I mean not being extinct, not being terminated. And the only way you can make sure that never happens to you is to be a king. And I'm going to show you right now what I mean physically. I've told you what I mean mentally, and you know me better than anybody else, Mr. Soley.
All I can say about this man, it's the 7th eye of the 13th step. Let's go to the ring.
Thank you, Gordon. Ladies and gentlemen, this event one fall with a 15-minute time limit. At 215 pounds, this is Art Clancy. Art Clancy. And now entering the ring, the man who's become known as the Mystic One. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Kevin Sullivan. Kevin Sullivan, one fall, 15.
Not against the Fighting Irishman, Art Clancy, but Art Clancy has had no chance to fight at all. Sullivan, also known as the Boston Battler, is also an Irishman. And one thing that anybody knows, one Irishman has no sympathy or any time for another one. And that's exactly what Sullivan is showing Mr. Clancy at this point in time. Clancy smashed into the timekeeper's table, and Sullivan catching him with that steel chair. Sullivan, who leaves no stone unturned and allows a man no quarter whatsoever, catches him once again. Sullivan hurtling his man back into the ring. Sullivan is a merciless competitor. Clancy having his head beaten into the canvas. Sullivan brings him up. A right hand into the chest of Art Clancy. And so Clancy, the Fighting Irishman, is having no chance whatsoever against the Boston Battler. Ooh. 240 pounds across that abdominal wall. He scores the pinfall. He scores the pinfall. And so the victory goes very quickly to Kevin Sullivan. Here's the official word.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, Mystic Kevin Sullivan. Kevin Sullivan, the winner.
Mississippi, Tuesday night, September 23rd, 8 p.m. NWA Wrestling, a double world championship night. Championship prices prevail. The Ladies World Championship going up. Miss Linda facing Debbie Combs.
Well, Debbie Coombs, the belt will be mine tonight. Just you wait and see.
All right, that's going to happen on September 23rd. And it will be Tim Horner, U.S. Junior Heavyweight Championship, Roy Lee Welch.
Well, I want to wish Miss Linda all the luck in the world. You know, Lavender Coliseum is going to be a night for popping because the world champion is going to be there, and there's a lot more championship matches going to be there. But Roy Lee Welch, everybody knows exactly what you did to me and how you got that belt back. But let me tell you something. Just come on down to Lavender Coliseum, and you're going to dumb yourself right out of that belt because the belt belongs around my waist, and when I leave Lavender Coliseum, it's going to be around my waist. And I want to say hello to Ashley. I love you.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'll tell you what, Freddie's got some interesting people who have some opposing views, so, Freddie, it's up to you.
Gordon, I have the Ladies World Champ right here and the King of Wrestling. What about it in Columbus, Mississippi, the 23rd, Debbie?
I want to say one thing to all the Columbus fans. I'm going to walk in with this belt. in Columbus, Mississippi. And I don't plan on leaving without it, Miss Linda. So you better wish that everybody wishes you a lot of luck, because you're going to need all the luck, baby, that you can get.
A determined Debbie. What about it, Roy Lee?
Well, I am the king of wrestling, but
Right.
I'm also the newly crowned United States Junior Heavyweight Champion.
All
Hunter.
right.
And I don't care what you say, mister. I don't care what you do. I'm the champion, and it's going to take a lot better man than you to win this off of me. You never beat me for this title, and you never will, mister. I don't care if it's Columbus. I don't care if it's on the street in Columbus. You come out and try me, son, but you'll never get it.
Determined people here, Gordon. Ready for the action in Columbus.
Hey, mark the date on your calendar. Columbus, Mississippi, Lavender Coliseum. That'll be on Tuesday night, September 23rd.
Ladies and gentlemen, this event one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Now in the ring from Chicago at 240 pounds, here's Kelly Dillinger. Kelly Dillinger.
Don't forget, of course, next week here on Continental Championship Wrestling, we'll bring you as many of the highlights as we can of the Alabama Heavyweight Championship Tournament. All right, Cooley in the trunks going up against Kelly Dillinger in the long tights. Dillinger holding an obvious weight advantage. Dillinger very quickly complaining to the referee, but not to much avail. All right. He's got his man pretty well tied up. Cooley backs away. Good clean break. Cooley catching him with a good shoulder smash. Cooley now with a side headlock, keeps his opponent on the canvas. Off the ropes once again. Cooley catches him, a good shoulder smash, puts his man down. Good counter by Cooley. Has Dillinger in trouble, and a good hip lock takedown. Our thanks to Lisa and Laura for an extremely kind letter and the most informative one. Back into the turnbuckle and the ring ropes. Dillinger. Hard right hand connects with another one. And a series of blows there, and it is Cooley almost ripping the head off of Kelly Dillinger. Cooley. Good snap mare. Takes Dillinger back to the canvas. Cooley down across the chest. Wildcat Wendell Cooley very much in control of the situation now. Drives the knee into the chest of Kelly Dillinger. Don't forget, of course, next week we'll be seeing the New Guinea Headhunters. Also highlights from the Alabama Heavyweight Championship Tournament. Series of right hands now by Wildcat Wendell Cooley.
Minutes expired.
Cooley jams his man into the turnbuckle. And now Cooley goes berserk. Cooley has it one way now, and that's his way. Catches him once again with a mule kick. Coming off the ropes, Wildcat Wendell Cooley. There he goes with the Oklahoma Stampede. Cooley hooks the far leg. Lateral press and hooks the far leg. He scores the pinfall. He scores the pinfall. It is all over. Wildcat Wendell Cooley, the victor. Here's Freddie.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the time of 6 minutes and 5 seconds, there's your winner, Wildcat Wendell Cooley. Wendell Cooley, the winner.
See him in Columbus, Mississippi on Tuesday night, September 23rd. Two of the top competitors who will be on hand are with Freddie Miller right now. Freddie?
Well, Gordon, we've got a very disturbed and a very upset Jerry Stubbs, Mr. Perfect.
You better believe I'm upset, Freddie Miller. Everybody saw Wendell Cooley, what he did. He cost me the Continental Belt. Now, Kevin Sullivan has made me several promises that he has kept. And he has also made me a few more promises. And I know that he'll keep those also, Freddie.
Let's talk to the Mr. Kevin Sullivan about this banner night in Columbus, Mississippi.
You know, I heard the little idiot's interview. You see, Brad Armstrong, your father and your family must have lived way back in the hills for generations, because they say inbreeding finally shows up. You're a perfect example of Southern inbreeding. You've shown up because you're a fool. You're a fool to mess with fire. You're a fool to talk with words that back nothing up. You see, the sins of your father are on your head. And everything I've ever said has come true. Your father can hide as the bullet. And you're the youngest of the family. Does that make you the BB? Well, I'm going to tell you what. You're facing a shotgun that's loaded double barrel, because I'm going to show you the difference of breeding first class and an inbred.
The 23rd, Columbus, Mississippi. Be there.
Hey, and that's in Columbus, Lavender Coliseum on Tuesday night, September 23rd. And don't forget, hey, stand by, Reform will be there on the 30th.
Telephone directory and two. Bending iron bars is something else I can do. I always put my sister with the nearest good view. So imagine what I have to do to you. To see my many attributes won't need a second glance. So if you resist it, you just wouldn't stand a chance.
One fall, TV time remaining.
I do poetry, I write truths and nothing at all. Now you know about me, you don't need a crystal ball to tell you just what.
And the exotic Adrian Street moving out against the Southeastern Tag Team Champions. Luscious Robert Fuller and gorgeous Jimmy Golden. One fall, television time remaining. The Bullet moves into the ring. Referee is Roy George. Let's see what happens here now as the Bullet is inside. The exotic Adrian Street moves out. So it's gorgeous Jimmy Golden against the Bullet. Full arm drag and twist, and the Bullet reverses it on Golden. Well, I certainly want to thank all of the folks who have sent us mail during the past week. All of the good folks in Birmingham, Dothan, Pensacola, and Mobile. Also want to thank the good folks in Munford, Eclectic, Reform, New Brockton, Dozier, and Moulton. And bear in mind the cities we just mentioned, Continental Championship Wrestling coming your way in the very near future. Well, a bit of a hassle now between Gorgeous and Luscious. And joining me here at the podium is Kevin Sullivan.
You know, Mr. Soley, you announced something that I was trying to keep secret until next week. But you have a way to know what I know, Mr. Soley. And as I said before, darkness must live in your heart also. I am bringing in my own tag team next week, the New Guinea Headhunters. And we talked about competition in this area, and I explained to you my definition of competition. It is survival.
Yeah, well, I have to say this much about Mr. Sullivan. When he talks about survival, that's exactly what he's talking about. Survival at any cost. The tag is made. The exotic Adrian Street with a rather unusual hold that time. And the Bullet leaves the ring in the exotic Adrian Street, punishing Gorgeous Jimmy Golden in his own way.
Mr. Soley, I'm going to just mention one thing. No man could ever do that to me. He's humiliating part of the stud stable using tactical warfare because, again, what I said, competition is a big difference than extinction. I mean, in a lot of places, they'd lock a guy up that dresses up in makeup.
Well, that's an interesting point. The exotic Adrian Street. Count. Wait a minute. Oh, he broke up the count. He broke up the count, and now Luscious and Gorgeous returning to the ring area. The count was broken, so they are within the confines of the rules and regulations. They are the Southeastern Tag Team Champions, and now it's Golden stepping back into the ring, and the exotic one mincing about a bit, I guess, is about the easiest way you could put it.
In Boogie Street in Singapore, I've seen a lot of these people, and mincing is a wonderful word, Mr. Soley, in your infinite wisdom.
All right, waiting now for the exotic Adrian Street to set to move out against. He is a blithe spirit, a happy soul, to say the least. A hurried conference now with the Bullet. Remember the Southeastern wait a minute. Well, not giving his man much of a target, he closes in. And now Golden and Fuller exacting their own kind of punishment on the exotic one, Adrian Street. And a hard right hand put Street to the canvas. A couple of boots to the midsection. Tag is made, and it's Luscious Robert Fuller moving in. Fuller holding a very definite advantage, catching him in the side of the rib cage, while Golden holds him down by the throat. Here comes the Bullet, and the Bullet uncorks a hard right hand.
You know, Mr. Soley, you've been around this facade of Bob Armstrong being the Bullet. Let me ask you this. Has your opinion of his manhood come down a little since he's teamed up with Adrian Street?
Well, of course, not having seen Bob Armstrong for some time, I would have to say that certainly the Bullet and the exotic Adrian Street make an interesting combination, a diverse term, if you will.
Interesting or odd? Would the word be odd, Mr. Soley?
Well, some people might refer to them as the odd couple, I suppose.
That's right. Now you see Jimmy Golden. I've talked to Jimmy quite a bit. You know, the stud has a special feeling for Jimmy Golden because Jimmy has a killer instinct. He's doing now what the stud has told them. That's not what the stud tells them.
Deep double underhook, and the tag was made. And so, the tag was not seen by the referee, and the exotic Adrian Street suffers at the hands of Jimmy Golden and Luscious Robert Fuller. Fuller now, a wild right hand Tag is made, and that time, no question about it, the Bullet back in the ring. And the Bullet exploding with a series of right hands. And this fella knows where it's at.
You know, the first time I got here, I pulled his mask off, the Bullet. There was no picture taken. The next time, I had him wrapped in the figure 4. Robert should have pulled the mask off. There was interference.
5 minutes gone in the match. 5.
And I don't like what I'm seeing. I said the whip had...
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Dr. Tom Pritchard with something that caught the Bullet from behind. And, brother, he dropped him. He dropped him. And now the exotic Adrian Street caught by Dr. Tom Pritchard.
Maybe somebody is listening to me, and maybe it's Mr. Pritchard. You see, what I say is extinction. Get rid of competition. Don't have competition.
Well, that's an interesting observation right now. The exotic Adrian Street in a lot of trouble. Wait a second. Miss Linda started to come into the ring, and Tom... Oh, brother. Oh, no. No, this is beyond belief. And Pritchard exacting his toll, and this is despicable. This is absolutely despicable.
It's probably the first time she's had a real man, if you get my drift.
Oh, well. Pritchard planning a big kiss on Miss Linda, and now, brother, I'll tell you what. Steve Armstrong is exacting his own toll.
I've said it once today, and I'll say it again. If I have to crack the whip to get things done around here, I'm in the Tennessee stud spot.
That's an interesting observation. And we've got people in the ring tending to the Bullet, to Miss Linda, and to the exotic Adrian Street. And the winners, by virtue of outside interference, are indeed the Bullet and the exotic Adrian Street. Here's the...
Columbus, Mississippi, Tuesday night, September 23rd, 8 o'clock. Double World Championship night. Nature Boy Ric Flair, champion, against the winner of the Alabama tournament. The Tornado team with no DQ, Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden, against the Bullet and Adrian Street. Continental title, Brad Armstrong clashes with Mystic Kevin Sullivan. Ladies World Championship, Debbie Combs, champion, against Miss Linda. The U.S. Junior title, Horner against Welch, plus 2 other matches, Columbus.
Well, let me take a moment here before I talk to these men and the despicable things that this man just did in the ring.
She loved every minute of it. She loved every minute of it. Now she knows what it's like to be with a real man. You loved it, Linda. You loved every minute of it. I could tell when you were in my arms. You were melting.
Oh, brother. Freddie, back to you.
Okay, Gordon, we're here in the ring. All of us worrying about the condition of Miss Linda. She's with Adrian Street and Steve Armstrong and the Bullet. You came on and helped out that real critical time there. How is she?
Tom Pritchard. Listen, Pritchard. You're lower than a rat's gut. You're lower than a rat serious gut. You'll never put your hands on Miss Linda again. I'll tear your damn nose off. I'll tear your damn nose off and beat you to death with her. You'll never do that again. I'll show you what a man is if you want to know about a man.
From now on, brother, we're going to have a second just like you want. We're going to make Steve Armstrong our second. Slap him around, why don't you?
Listen, man, I'm a little short on love. Bring the broad back in the tornado match.
Baby, they want to kiss somebody. Adrian Street wants to kiss somebody. Kiss this Adrian Street, and you kiss it too, Bullet. And you take that freak kid of yours and tell him he's going to be kissing both of them. And I'm exactly right.
The highlights of the Alabama Heavyweight Championship Tournament next week here on Continental Championship Wrestling, plus the first appearance of the New Guinea Headhunters. Be watching. We'll be joining you then next week at this same time. Till then, Gordon Solis.